Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I came out here to do more videos about my latest, which is about when people they do things wrong and they involve you with them, and you don't get a choice. Kind of like, people who make decisions for you, and then you find out, who are you, making decisions for me, like in-laws. In-laws does not mean just the parents-in-law. You have the cousins, everybody from the cousins-in-law. Your significant others, your husband, whatever, wife, whatever it is, their family, everybody in their family. It could be their niece, it could be their uncle, it could be whatever, cousin, sister, brother. You get it. And those people, they get together, the family, they get together, and they make decisions. Oh, we're going to go there this day, and then we're going to go do this and that. And then you hear about it later, you say, wait a minute, nobody come to me and ask me. That kind of thing. Or the way that they see things. Like they see, like me, I went to the hospital Thursday. Today is Wednesday, the next week, and they, and Adam, man I met and married over 40 years ago, he and his older brother, who had invited himself over, he was in Florida, this is Texas, the guy lives in California, but he was in Florida taking care of a rental property and by himself, and he decided that he wanted a little vacation on his way back. And he would come and stay with us. And then visit they could go, Adam and him, could go and visit all their family that lives in Texas. Various places from North Texas all the way to South Texas. Road trip on Adam's dime. His brother's like 75, 75 years old, middle 70s, I think. And, just make these decisions at each level. They make decisions, they go to visit the cousins, and the cousins of females and their mother and their brother. And they say things like, as for me, they say, well, she shouldn't be by herself. Because they had left, Adam and his brother left one morning, the next evening of the next day. The evening of the next day, I was in the hospital ER. And the diagnosis wasn't that great. I should not have been left by myself. But there I was in North Texas, and they were in South Texas by myself. And their cousins said things like, and these are people in their 60s, said things like, well, she shouldn't be left alone. But why don't you go ahead and stay another night? Because, vacations are so rare, and we haven't seen you in so long. To them, Adam and his brother. But then they decide, well, where are her sisters? It's for me. Where are her sisters? My sisters have not had anything to do with my life. Pretty much, not hardly ever as an adult. My sisters don't live anywhere near me. And it is not his cousin's choice to decide for me who should be taking care of me. It should be Adam. You see. But no, that they have such a weirdness about that family. Such a weirdness. And that's the cousins. They all grew up, that side of their cousins, they all grew up in the same house as children. And so they're real close. And, okay, had a little allergy bit episode there. Coughing season. I have them year round. Wow, you got close enough, did you? No, nobody was in the other lane. You didn't have to get that close. Was zooming by. Get real close. But anyway, his family, they're just something else. Seriously, I have been doing videos about them. It's my pressure release valve. Thank goodness I learned to do this, because otherwise, wow, I don't know if I literally would have survived them this long. Seriously, we seldom ever hear from them. We seldom, in over 40 years, seldom ever see any of them. But when we do, whenever they are involved, they are so toxic. To me, Adam now, they're wonderful. He just, like when he was there, visiting them in South Florida, I talked to him on the phone, and because I would call him, I said, whenever I go take a shower, I want you to know when I'm in the, when I'm going into the shower and when I get out, and I should not have been left by myself. And I said, I'm going to call you when I get back out, and if I don't call you, you call I said, what are you going to do? And he was like, he didn't know what to do. This is not a dumb man. He's an electrical engineer. But when it comes to anything social, that man is not smart. And imagine that how it is for me. I'm a social and behavioral scientist. My degrees are in psychology and sociology. What more do I need to know about people? I studied. I was a career student. I studied all these, you would not believe how many fields. I could have had, I think, at least, say, 4 master's degrees. Okay, if I'd applied another class here and then one here. I got burnt out when I was working on concurrently a PhD in, it's basically counseling. And at the same time working on, I was working on another master's. I don't remember which one. I think it was Master's of Arts in Teaching, not education, but teaching. Okay, but imagine that, I'm all about people and interactions between people and what's good and what's bad and what's not, acceptable, what's acceptable, social contracts, you name it, you got it, how people should treat people in good ways. And what is to avoid, what's toxic, what is, the various personality disorders, you name it. Seriously. And if I haven't studied it, I've focused a lot on personality disorders since then. Some of them, while we had various ones that they focused on, and like borderline, I don't recall them ever focusing on that in graduate school. Seriously, I don't know why. I think it was late in the game, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, all this, and then I am trained, more than trained, to recognize, these kinds of things. And Adam is clueless. I mean, imagine, I've always said that he and I are very different types. Very, seriously. And as for me, I did start off as a math and computer science. As a computer science major, so. But then I wanted something, I'm going to say it straight out because that's exactly what it was. I wanted something more challenging. So I chose psychology, and then later on, I added a double major, sociology, for being more challenging. Believe me, they are more challenging. Yeah. To me. Might not be to other people. It's just to me. But anyway, Adam, he really doesn't know what to do. I mean, he's not totally stupid with it, but in certain things, like when it comes to his family, oh my goodness, but if any of us grew up in a dysfunctional family, haven't we been the same in a way? Sometimes too loyal to that family, then we wake up one day and say, whoa, no, that's wrong. They're dysfunctional. I'm not, bye-bye, no contact. Yeah, many of us have. Anybody that would be listening to things like that, narcissistic families, some of them are collective narcissism. That's how I see his family. They think they're the best. His family's not the only one. There are some neighbors, 2 sets of neighbors. Like, not kidding, 2 sets of neighbors. Oh my goodness, we had one other one. Luckily, it was just a woman, and luckily they moved. They moved from Texas to get back to California. Thank goodness. The husband and the child, they weren't bad, but the mother, oh my gosh. And we weren't the only ones who felt that way, that knew that way, that she was horrible. She was like in her 30s and thought she owned the road. And everybody better mind her on the road. I'm serious. I've seen some characters in my life. And that's just my reason. Boy, I could go back to when I was born. I was born into it. Yeah, I don't mean that. I do mean that. But anyway, you know, so for Adam, when he hears his family say something, he thinks, you know, that he has all this view that it's so wonderful to be at home. You're back with all of his family. It was so much warmth and love and care, and you know, there were his two female cousins, and the mother had started cooking the day before. Okay, that was something just grabbed my throat. My goodness, allergies. I had to stop. I could barely even breathe. My voice went, stop. But anyway, he was all, what do I call it? Thought of it as waxing sentimental. I've never heard anybody use that, but that's how it sounded like to me. I've known this man over 40 years, and he's like, you know, it was so nice, and they, you know, like I said, that his family, these women, I'm serious, they will cook stuff for like 24 hours. And I don't know about them. I don't know where they buy their pots. But his niece, she came and, you know, was uninvited for 2.5 years. She just left, I would say this is the 8th week maybe. Since she's left. Good riddance. She'll never be back in this country. They're from a country across the globe. And she is never going to return here. I hope so. I don't want to ever hear her name. She was a horrible person. Yeah, she tried to off me 3 times. I have chemical allergies. Can't be around perfume. So what does she do? You got it. 3 times over 2.5 years. Me standing right there telling her not to do it, and she walks upstairs and sprays things like Raid and Lysol. Because she saw a dead gnat. And her spraying is more important. And it goes on, like I said, 3 times. Oh man, horrible, horrible. Just like her mother, just like her mother. Okay, I'm gonna go drive around the block. Maybe I shouldn't be sitting underneath that tree. You never know. Okay, genius. But anyway, I mean, these people. So Adam gets his cues from this family. There they were saying this stuff about, you know, her sisters. You know, so they really do think the only people who matter in all of it would be their family, their blood relatives. Anybody in their family who's blood related to them, that's it. The wives and husbands and girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever, they don't really matter. It's all about them. And I've been making videos about this. Like I said, venting for maybe close to 10 years. I don't know. Let's say 8 years or so. At least 8 years. Yeah. It's just, I'm serious. It's just, and like I said, he's getting his cues from them on what they should do. Well, I have a voice. I was pretty much knocked down though. I was not well when he left. I have been complaining about this swelling and associated problems for April, May will be somewhere around there. April, May will be 2 years. And I mean, 3 times in 2023 in the hospital ER. At least two was a few times last year, and then this year. Hello, finally somebody said, "Oh yeah," and that's because of their job. It's job. Hello, yeah, okay. Somebody pay attention. Somebody be real. Finally diagnosed. Finally, something's being done about it. After almost 2 years, seriously. But so I can understand that Adam said, hey, this has been going on. Nobody's doing it. I don't know. We don't know what it is. On and on. I can understand that he sees this opportunity. His brother's here. He wanted to go see that aunt, wherever you're from, however you say it. I was raised saying aunt. Okay, it was aunt. Kind of like aunt. Sounds good. But aunt makes me think of, oh, what's she gonna do? Get out more Raid and spray it because she sees a dead one? God, what nerve, seriously. Oh my gosh. But anyway, I can get it. He wanted to go see her. First he told me she was 99, but she's 89 years old, as he found out. She's 89, and he wanted to see her, you know. I know her, but I couldn't go. Okay, I backed myself up a little bit here. Yeah, I don't like sitting next to that woods, even though, you know, you can see it because of the winter, but still. There was a log, a tree log, a tree limb, teepee out there, and they tore it down. Somebody did. Yeah, somebody must have been living out there during the summer and all. Wow. But anyway, where was I? Talking about this really crazy, but you know, like I was saying, Adam gets his cues from them. I mean, this man is older than I am, 61, and you know, because he's seeing them as doing them as so wonderful, as so precious, as so, you know, he even has the attitude like these are people who should be treated as though that they are royalty. In a way, and I felt that before. I'm like, you're full of it. You think I'm going to treat your family like they're so precious and they're royalty? And whenever he got home, I could, you know, basically I jumped him about this. I had been real bad off. You know, I was real nice and real all this because I just wasn't. I was in shock. Plus, I was not healthy. And kind of down, and doesn't that look like a cat, a big cat? Well, you don't see it, but it's actually a long dog, short dog. Anyway, but you know, I wasn't all that, and then at some point I told him, you know, like he said that his family said we're her sisters, and then he went to his coming back. You know, they stayed another night over there. Coming back, he stayed at his brother's like he did when he was going there. When they were going there, their younger brother's house which is in between. And the brother said, you know, I called him and said I'm going to take a shower and all this. I said, so what do y'all decide? Y'all coming back today or what? And he said, and I was starting to feel better. And he said that his brother said, no, y'all stay another night. And I said that was kind of it. And it's still real polite. And that's how I am, a mild-mannered person. I said, are any of you thinking about me? Seriously. And I could tell that the way his voice was, you know, Adam can be really rude and mean when he's around them. You know, just like them. Just oh, they have this self-centeredness. But I could tell that he kind of got embarrassed. You know, so they came home that day. But then since he's been home, you know, today I said to him, I was, you know, saying, what do y'all want for lunch? And because I'm thinking they might want to go because his brother's leaving tomorrow. Well, hello, little doggy. The doggy finally got up here. He's so cute. Oh, he's such a cute little doggy. He's being walked, by the way, in case you're wondering. But, Adam, you know, Adam's brother, you know, he's leaving tomorrow to go back to California where he lives. And so I figured they might want something different. But last night, while I'm at it, I took some meat that had been put in the oven, because that's basically all I can do. Just sprinkle a little salt, pepper, garlic salt, not really salt, but garlic salt and pepper, put it in the oven. That was basically all I could do. I did manage to cook some angel hair pasta with some little bit of Velveeta and milk and butter, and I love that stuff. I don't eat a lot of it, and I make it thin with water and milk and all. I make it thin like soup, and I love it. I'm making sure I don't have too much of it because, you know, I count the, you know, pay attention to the sodium count and all that, but I made that, and then both of those, that meal, and then I made the next day, we had some, I had made 2 different types of meat. One was ribeye steaks. I had mainly a ribeye steak, one small one left over, and I had some skirt steak, for fajita meat. Had some of that left over. That was that day and the day before. So I decided I want to cook them. I don't let stuff go too long. I'm not an expert on any of this, but 2-3 days, that's it. It's leftovers. That's it. It had to be cooked, 2-3 days before, maximum. And I don't even like 3rd day, so I like 2 or 1. Anyway, so I made it, and I put it in, made some brown gravy with it, and a little bit of corn that I had gotten from a meal that was liver and onions, and it had some corn, in a cup. Put that in there, and Adam had said they weren't going to eat. That was last night, dinner, not last night, but dinner. And he said they'd already eaten, they were fine. And so I cooked it, and I asked him to make some rice. He makes rice better than I do. And he said he made a small pot for me. Well, after I ate mine, he come in there and said, "Oh, my brother might want some." So fine, I had got me a little bit more and ate it, just a little bit, because I don't eat much in the first round, so seriously, I don't. And this, first time I got a little bit of that steak. The second time I got a little bit of the other steak, the fajita meat. And when I came back, I said, well, make sure you put it up when you finish. Came back a little later. I said, I thought you were going to put it up, and I just saw the pots on the stove. He said, there's nothing to put up. So they ate it, and things like, I said, where's my onion while I'm cooking? I said, where's my onion? I'm, opened up. And they had taken, oh, you need an onion? Where's my bread? They ate a loaf of bread. Okay, sorry about that, but yeah, I had to cut the clip. Somebody came up with their kids, and I don't put people's kids in my videos, so I had to clip the clip. Yeah, and then I think, this road may be just a little bit too busy to actually deal with right now. People flying down the road. When this is with kids, it's rush hour, coming home from rush hour, and they're flying down these roads. Like, these are 30 miles per hour, and they turn the corner and they floor it, going like 40, not even 40, like 50, 60. It's crazy. All these kids, especially at these parks, they come out and everything. No, they don't care. It's all about them getting home a few seconds earlier. So there's my gripe about traffic for the day. But anyway, go back to this so I can finish it, wrap it up. Sit back under the tree. But which part was I? Yeah, today. And I walked outside. Adam and his brother were sitting outside, and I asked, if they wanted something. His brother, there's a language barrier, so he does not speak English. I don't speak his language, so we don't really speak directly to one another. And, Adam's, I started, saying this, that, or the other. So what can we eat that's not full of sodium? Eat out. What restaurants do we have around here? Let's think about it. Adam was being kind of smart aleck. Yep, came back to sit under the tree. Some more coughing, but anyway. This is ridiculous. Yeah. But he was, oh my goodness. Oh, the coughing got too much. Yeah, oh my goodness. But anyways, it just, Adam was being kind of, every once in a while I'd see that he'd get kind of smart. And, I kind of got the feeling that why he is because he was basically kind of resentful toward me, because he actually had to do stuff. I wasn't like his, maybe that's how he saw it. I wasn't like his cousins. The women, the female cousins, They were doing all this stuff, cooking and cleaning. Oh, they cooked the meal starting the day before. You know, it's like it's a labor of love. There's so much warmth in their family. You know, the women do this. They stay in the kitchen, and like I was saying, my pots, his niece ruined a bunch of my pots because she'd cook stuff in them all day, and they were not made for that. All day long, from morning, like at 7 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night, or even later. They're not made for that. So many of my pots were burned that I started hiding in plain sight my new set of pots inside the refrigerator on one side, and I told them that they're not allowed to get on my one side. Adam and I we have a new refrigerator too, and we had a joke about that. I just want this one section. It's divided into 4 doors, you know, into quadrants. So just, this is mine. Nobody gets to touch it before she came back. So, yeah. But anyway, I'm kind of all over the place, but that's because that's how this goes. There's so many little things to it. But, so today, I mean, it was like, I walked out and I was saying, where do y'all want to go? He said, well, you need to make up your mind. And then I said something. He goes, yeah, find some place where he and I can go. He was actually going to go yesterday for he and his brother to go eat at a place he knows I don't eat because it's too much sodium. Seriously, just them. And then, you know, he's been making meals just for them. Each meal, like I told him today. You know, when he said this, to find some place he and his brother can go, oh man, and I mistook how he meant it. But, you know, like I said, my manner, I said, do you listen to yourself? So since you've been back, it's always about you and your brother. You cook breakfast, you cook lunch, you cook dinner for you too. And then for me, it's like, you know, I wave my hand like dismissive. You can go, like you were saying, you can go and cook for yourself with that dismissive hand. And he was like, you know, it's kind of like he's the kid with his caught with his hand in the cookie jar on these things. That's how he sometimes seems, because he really doesn't understand. He really does listen to them. You know, I'm not, like I said, he's not totally stupid with it, but on some things it's like, dude. And I said, look, I'm the one who's the one who's here who's not well, me. And this is what you're doing? Yeah. He was like, well, yeah, and I said, I get it. I got what you really actually meant. But still, look what you've been doing since you've been back. And it's been this, since they've been back, what, 4 days ago? Well, 3 days. Let's see. Well, today would be the 4th day. Yeah. They got back on Sunday, and today's Wednesday, so my brain's still not thinking. I can't do math. Sort of as a math major, by the way, like I said earlier. But come on. You know, and I said that today, and I was like, I said it in a voice kind of like this. I wasn't yelling, screaming, you know, cussing. I don't, you know. So, but do you hear yourself? You know, so they went and got some food. They left a little later. He didn't even tell me he was leaving. But maybe he felt, you know, finally felt some guilt about all this. I had to tell him the other day, are there any of y'all thinking about me? You know, because they get so wrapped up. All of them do this. They get so wrapped up in their family. It's their family. They're the greatest people on the planet. You know, these are people who are I don't know any of them, you know, in his generation. They're not in the next generation. They are all in professional fields. Like they especially like doctors and along this line, and engineers. And then there's a dentist, and you know, along that line. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. People who are like that are like that. Toxic people. no matter what level there are. And I've always said that, because I've always known that. Yeah. Okay. But there is even more to it. I figured out, with him doing this. But I don't know how long this video is, and it's a lot of clips. And I can make another one. But it's about him basically. I've said this about his family. They really don't seem to want anything to do with him until they want something. It's usually about money. And his demeanor, this time I definitely guessed it. He's changing. He's acting weird. It was all of a sudden he started acting weird. Really like grumpy old man is what I would call him. And so it has something to do with his family. And yep, it was his brother. I didn't tell him that I knew, but yeah. But I want to talk about that. Let's see. Okay, and anyway, yeah, I can make a little bit more on this video, but it was like, I guess it was yesterday. The days are blurring together, man. It's gone so fast. A week already? And since I was there, it's just gone so fast. I have a follow-up on Monday with a new cardiologist, new for me. And I'd only seen the other one time, and I didn't like him, so I told my doctor it wasn't a good fit, and I don't want to see him again. So this doctor, when I was in the ER doctor, I told him about the other one. He said, I found you another one. That one didn't have an appointment anytime recently, even though the ER doctor said that they chose one that would soon. Well, this one, he's just fine. I checked him out. He doesn't have any reviews, no negative and positive. Doesn't have reviews. So hey, nobody felt the need. I guess he's new. He's young. But hey, he looks okay. I see him on Monday. But anyway, but as far as this, what I figured out, that all this time, Adam's brother has been here. When he leaves tomorrow, it'll be almost 2 weeks. And like I said, I wasn't with them when they went to visit family, and it's a good thing I didn't go. I wouldn't go anyway because of the swelling in my legs. I have edema. I'm not going to be in the SUV, and I wouldn't be in an SUV with them anyway that far. No way. But, not pleasant people. His family. I would be seeing too much. Just even though it was just his brother, which I said originally I said I didn't have any problem with, but then I remembered how entitled that brother was about some things. And it's a lot of 40 something years, a lot of years to remember, Anyway, this brother, what I realized was, okay, the brother set it up this way. He lives in California with his wife, which I found out. I've never met her, and Adam told me that she's like 2 or 3 years older than her brother, so she's in her late 70s maybe. And his 2 daughters, I never remember whether his 2 daughters live there or one of them may have just moved, but in California, and then they both come back on the weekend, something like that. And they're in their 40s, I guess. Maybe even their 50s by now. So one's a doctor, one's an engineer. That's pretty much typical in their family. There's going to be a doctor and an engineer, if not a dentist and an engineer. Something like that. So medical research, or and an engineer. You get it, and an engineer. Whatever kind of engineer. There's going to be an engineer. Anyway. Okay, so I'm having to stop still because it's not as bad here, but I feel like I'm clearing out my chest a little bit. Anyway. So I started thinking the way his brother set it up was he was in California with his family, and I've always heard, I think it's all BS. I've heard it since Adam and I first got married. I heard he's talked about his brother's wife, and the one I have never met, and I've never met their daughters, their children, only 2. But you need to move over, and you need not to be driving that fast on this road. But I've always, they always pick a scapegoat. They always talk bad, and I've learned that over the years about the wives or the girlfriends or the significant others. Okay, I had to clip another clip, so I'm doing it like this. Oh, but anyway, where was I? Golly, oh boy! But he set it up. He came from, like I said, they always blame somebody, the spouse, the girlfriend, the live-in, whatever. Like me, and we don't know it. It's going on behind the scenes. Oh, they say, they give us a reputation, and his older brother's wife's reputation is that she's bossy, and she tells him what to do. And I heard that since I first met Adam, over 40 years ago. She's bossy, and now I don't know her. And as life got, I got older. I was 18 when I married him. As I got older, I realized, don't believe everything they say. Don't believe anything people say about somebody else. Find out for yourself. Make your own judgment. Don't listen to what they have, because they could be doing the scapegoat, finding the person to blame it all on. They're perfect, and the other person's horrible. This kind of thing. So I don't know. Is she really like that way? And anyway, this is what happened this time. Is I've heard this so many times. Well, he needs to get away from her, and because he's always doing stuff for her and their daughters, and he never gets to rest. That apparently he set this up. His brother did, telling Adam this again, or it's just Adam just saying it, because she has such a reputation that they've made for her, like that, and their daughters. He never gets a vacation from it. It could be he just went on vacation and he wanted to use Adam's dime to go on this vacation, to go visit all their, travel in Adam's SUV, Adam's money for gas, Adam's money for food, go to these places for, how long were they gone? Was it like 5 days, 4 nights? I don't know. Maybe longer. But, for Adam to pay for it. And but there was more to it. And I knew that this was what he was, that's how I felt he was doing. But to say, then Adam comes to me and says, my brother is getting such a good rest. And I could tell from the way he looked when he got here, to now, that he's really getting a good rest. And it's good for him to be away from her, his wife. And for him to be here with me, you see, waxing sentimental and all that. And he's fooled by them. And they make a reputation for their spouse. I don't know what mine is. Apparently mine is she's mean. And the funny thing is, I'm like the least mean person you can imagine. And who knows what reputation that they have for me. Seriously. One who would tell them off right in front of their face. I don't have a problem with that at all. Like his niece. She's lucky I didn't put her in a psych ward. Seriously. I'm serious with that. But anyway. It was suggested. But anyway, she, so he set this up this way. His brother or somebody. Okay, somebody. And his brother is the eldest of that next generation. Okay, as far as I know. I don't think anybody else. I don't think there's anybody else. Maybe one of them's husband, but I don't think so. I think he's the eldest. And they play on some kind of stereotype, like the eldest gets this and the eldest, you're supposed to, you get what I'm saying. And they play on it. They play with it. They use it. And I think that's what his brother was doing was, so basically, Adam has been catering to his brother, paying for everything, feeling good that he's helping his brother out. You know, his brother's in his mid-70s, and he's helping him and making him feel better and all this stuff, which is good for people to feel. But when they're being manipulated, that part of it's not good. You know? So, and I kind of figured this out when Adam came back. And I noticed that Adam was preparing and delivering to his brother the meals that he was making for them. You know, not forget me, like I said earlier, forgetting me. But he was catering. He was taking it. His brother was sitting in Adam's recliner. Okay, you don't know when there's one recliner in the room that belongs to somebody. You know, seriously, my recliner is in another room. Man, I'm telling you, I must be clearing up a bunch. But my recliner, we just moved into the master bedroom. There's a TV when we moved the TV in there too. But anyway, so his brother's sitting in Adam's recliner. Adam's not even comfortable where he sits. And he goes into the kitchen and gets his brother's food and delivers it to him when his brother's sitting right there on the recliner. There's a little, table with a lamp between them. And they sit there and they eat. And like I said, Adam's not even comfortable where he's sitting. But to do all that and to cater to his brother just the way he has, I'm like, this guy so manipulated this. I cannot imagine anybody catering to me. Adam did. I can remember once when I got hurt. Okay, or twice. Whenever something like that. But I'm like, I prefer people not to be around me when I'm not well. Really, I do. But for that kind of catering, now you would think his brother would know, well, wait a minute, because his brother also mentioned that he has the same thing as I do. And Adam's trying to say he does too, which I'm kind of wondering about what's going on with Adam. He doesn't like to tell me too much. He's one of those, And, but his brother was telling him that it's kind of like, oh, we got to totally take, what is it, a big old wasp right up here. You got to totally take everything away from me to get him back in focus. You know how that is? I know how that is. I know a lot of people like that since I was a kid, since I was born. The attention has to be on them. Nobody else gets attention. The person, me, who's just got out of the hospital ER and should have it, like you did hear me say, I prefer nobody to be around me. But the nerve of him, the nerve of his brother, wanting all of Adam's attention, and then the other part of the family saying, where's her sisters? You see? The nerve. That's what gets to me, is the nerve that they have. Okay, anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and go home. And, or make another video. I don't know. It's just good to be out of the house, because this kind of stuff, that's just not right. And, and I mentioned all this other stuff about how they're so judgmental. That family, and then the way that our house is, when you sit in the living room, you can see every upstairs, downstairs, anytime anybody goes through any door from the downstairs living room. And where he sits at that chair is facing the rest of it. Okay, so they really see everything. And that family is so judgmental. Now, it's not what they're judging. I don't care. I don't care that they go around telling one another bad things about me, this, that, the other. And what are they saying? None of that stuff. I've been thinking about that again. It's really, I already know this, it's really the nerve of these people. And overall, really, it's more of a, God, I'm so tired of people like this, something like that. Children, please. You get, I definitely have a long time ago, so tired. People have to play these games. There's so many of them. Not everybody in my world, but come on. I had enough. But just to sit there and pass judgment on somebody in their own home. My voice is going again. Oh my gosh. But you get what I'm saying. There's just so much to this. And then today, have y'all thought about me at all this time? No, it's all about them. And where's her sisters? The nerve. These are people who make decisions. They try really hard and they think that they are in that place where they're supposed to make decisions for people. That's a decision they think that they're making. Where's her sisters? You see what I'm saying? If you're not blood related, nobody owes you anything in our family. Not even your, like I said, it doesn't matter. I saw it with all of them, their spouse, their significant other, in whatever way. No, none of them matter to them. Anyway, wrapping it up. Talk to you on another video. Bye.